The number one currency in our digital era is your attention. And if you don't believe me, I'd like you to take just one day where you document all the times that you're exposed to either social media or an advertisement. Whether you know it or not, all of those algorithms are backed on one really important analytic called retention, or better yet, your attention. You see, the bridge between the life that you're currently living and the life that you want to live is focus. But in our society, we're exposed to such an abundance of inputs, whether it be auditory or visual stimuli. And because of that, it's much more likely that we're distracted. It can be that much more dangerous when we're not aware that we're being distracted. So in today's video, we'll be discussing the 4 key areas that perhaps you're not necessarily cognizant of that will encourage you to be, and then also how to combat it so that you can achieve true focus too. My name is June Yu. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Focus is that one thing that whether you're a student or in your careers, or you just want to improve your personal life, that we all want, but most people don't understand that it's a skill that we can build. But hopefully I can convince you after this video. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you have any questions at all, please leave them below. I'm more than happy to respond to you, and of course subscribe. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. I think it only makes sense that I start with all of our favorite distraction, and that's our phones. But perhaps we don't understand the gravity of this issue, and I certainly didn't. If you spend 4.5 hours on your phone on a daily basis, and I can certainly attest that I'm guilty of having done way more than that, you'll have spent over 12 years on your phone in your lifetime, and consider the fact that you're spending an additional about 36 years of your life either sleeping or working, and then much of your young life is in school. These years add up very, very quickly. So imagine the progress that we can have if we can have a healthy relationship with our phones. If we can stop our addictions to our phones, then perhaps we can put our focus in areas that actually matter to us, and then we can have those types of progressions towards the life that we want to be living. And I believe that there are practical ways to go about doing that, and I'm just going to run through really quickly some of my favorites. The first one is putting your phone on grayscale in order to reduce the visual stimuli. The second one is having a separate alarm clock in order to disrupt the habit loop of waking up in the morning, going to your phone to snooze your alarm, and then going and mindlessly scrolling. You can prevent that altogether by having a separate alarm clock and leaving your phone in a completely different room. Number 3, use focus apps, perhaps ones like Freedom, or ones that will inhibit your access to the internet or your favorite social media apps, and so that for a period of time you can remain focused on whatever task is in front of you. Record yourself or FaceTime a study buddy. Whatever you can do to repurpose your phone and make it something that will keep you accountable, will keep you focused versus distracted, is a really great idea too. So I believe if you can start implementing these tips, you'll have a lot of success, because we always have to remember that our mental focus follows our visual focus. So if we're visually distracted with our phones, we'll always be distracted mentally too. But if we can prevent that altogether, that's how we're able to achieve better focus. Number 2, you don't have a plan. The worst thing that you can do if you're somebody easily distracted is not have a plan. You have to understand that we as human beings make thousands of decisions each day, whether they be conscious ones or subconscious ones. It's in those moments that we are trying to make a decision that we end up choosing the one that keeps us stagnant, that keeps us comfortable, that keeps us from doing the things that we know we should or have to do. And that's why we tend to skip our workouts or tend to skip our study sessions. And I don't want that to be you. And an easy way to combat all of this is creating a time block schedule for yourself. And this is an opportunity for you to group potentially similar tasks together and allocate chunks of your day or blocks of your days associated to those tasks. And when you can do this in preparation of that day, whether it's the day before or week before, however you want to go about it, it allows you to follow this plan. And I find people immediately challenge this point and say, I don't think a schedule is meant for me. I'm somebody more spontaneous. I don't believe that I will thrive in a structured environment like that. And what I want you to know is that time blocking doesn't have to be only associated with your work. You should absolutely blocking out times for your rest and your plays and things that you just enjoy out of life. But you absolutely also should include your work and things that are important for you as you try to move the needle on a daily basis. And that opportunity for you to create a plan ahead of that day ensures that you're making the right decisions that day. You don't have to worry about the chaos that ensues when we're making thousands of decisions each day. So I really, really encourage you to do this. There are many, many apps that will help you facilitate this process. It can be simply your Android calendar, your Apple calendar, your Google calendar, however you want to go about it. Please start time blocking. Number 3, you are multitasking. I used to be under the false impression that in order for me to be a more productive person, I had to learn how to split my attention up with a bunch of different tasks at any given moment. When in reality, I've learned that the way to be productive is by simply eliminating every other task or any other distraction and just fixating on the work that you should be doing in that given moment. That's it. And it's really because of something called attention residue. And people don't understand the significance of this issue. You see, people will say something along the lines of, what's the issue of me looking at my phone and glancing and seeing some notifications and then just going back to my work? That only took me 5 seconds just now. But in reality, there's something called attention residue. And that explains how when we try to switch from one context to another or one task to another, our attention isn't able to immediately go to that second task. It isn't able to at least 100% go there. And actually there's a shadow, there's a glimmer, there's a part of our working memory that's still associated with that prior task. So you can understand the lack of efficiency that happens. That's why deep work sessions are so extremely important. And now that we've talked about time blocking, the one thing that I need you to start scheduling on a daily basis is your peak productivity window. Now, when you do that, it's going to be up to you. It should be aligned with your natural energy fluctuation, especially when it's heightened, right? And then of course your free time. But if you can prioritize that on a daily basis, you know that you will always move the needle, that you will always be able to get your most demanding tasks done each day. So I really believe the more that you can stray away from multitasking and learn how to prioritize your tasks and execute them one at a time, you'll find yourself being a lot more productive. Number 4, you're not taking care of yourself. And although that might sound like a cliche, I actually think it's the most important one on this list. Recently, in our mentorship program, we have initiated a 60-day challenge, and all of our members for the first 30 days will be building their 4 internal pillars: the mind, the body, the spirit, and honest accountability. And so can you on a daily basis improve your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health, while also ensuring that you're holding yourself accountable honestly so you can meet the depths of those pillars consistently? You see, I can teach you how to have better focus for the task that you deem to be important in that moment. But in reality, if that task or that responsibility or the goals that you're chasing after don't necessarily align with where you actually want to go, then does it really matter? If the goals in your life don't actually align with your value system and it's actually just superimposed onto you by societal expectations, where's the winning in that? Already in our mentorship program, our members have understood the importance of this foundation because it completely changes your perspective. And the way that you view what you do affects how you do what you do. We know that. And if you can always ensure that you're staying aligned versus being distracted by what society tells you to do, there's some true progress that can be made. I've seen this happen so many times where, quote unquote, the people that we deem to be highly successful in life, whether it be status or fame or a ton of money, there's actually a lot of hardship behind the scenes because along the way they've lost sight of that foundation. I don't want that to be you. So whether you join us in our mentorship program and there's still some spots left, or whether you decide to take this on your own, I really encourage you to focus on those 4 internal foundational pillars on a daily basis. And I promise you there's going to be some tremendous success in the way importantly, that you define it, okay? And that's the important part. So we talked about in this video how to not be addicted to your phones, how to actually construct a meaningful plan, how to stop multitasking and actually increase your productivity, and now the 4 internal pillars. And I believe if you can start to be more cognizant of those 4 areas of life, you will be able to immediately improve your focus. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, leave your comments below, and of course subscribe. And until next time, I love you guys so much, and take care of yourselves, okay?